What's up, guys? How y'all doing? So check it, homies. This is finally back with our second season of Breaking the Stereotype. You guys have messaged me so many times saying, who are we getting on next? When are you going to start this back up? Giving me tons of suggestions of different content creators to bring on here to share our stories. And I am very, very stoked to announce that we're officially back, baby. Season 2! And we're starting it off with a really amazing guest. I am very, very excited to have had WrighteousJ on here and talk about his band, talk about how he got into BTS, talking about how BTS has changed his life, and talking a lot about his band because he's got so much cool stuff going on right now. Right after we filmed this episode, they actually released their entire tour date, so please make sure you guys go check out their links, find out if they're coming to a city near you, and then go see them live. They're freaking awesome people. I'm definitely going to try to catch one of their shows on their tour. Thank y'all very much for clicking on this. If y'all are new to our channel, please smash that sub button and let's get into this together. This is the WrighteousJ Breaking the Stereotype.
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Doing really good, man. Doing really good. Freaking, I'm glad I caught you. I know you're like super busy right now. You got a lot of stuff in the works.
Hey, you know what? It is all good. It's all pointing towards the positive. It's just, you know, you just got to know when to put your head down and just put your head down.
yeah, exactly. Just hold on and go for the ride,
Hold on
dude.
tight. Yeah,
I feel that, man. So, like, actually, and before we actually really get into, like, some BTS questions, I wanted to talk about, like, some things that you've got going on with your band, because you've got a lot of cool news, and I wanted to kind of share that with our audience first.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess basically, so I'm the lead singer of City of Sound.
Yes.
We're a fully independent band, so, like, we produce, mix, master, write all of our own music. Up until right now, we've been DIY, so we're like booking all of our own shows, running everything. We are working on that changing very soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we just released our new song, Us, which just came out. The music video comes out today, right after this video, and then I'm going to hop on a live stream, and then we do the music video release. And then we're actually going to announce our next U.S. tour, which is going to start in September in the Southwest, and we're going to hit the Midwest in October, and then we're actually probably going to come down towards you to Nashville just on that run because like my family's from Indiana, but like Nashville's 4 hours.
Yeah,
like
dude.
From where we'll be like our HQ on that tour. So it's like, we might as well play Nashville.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yes, and so we got a lot going on, and basically that whole tour, the whole idea is we're in some talks right now with some really, really solid indie labels right now. And you know how it is. They love our music, they love our ticket sales, but they don't love our Spotify numbers.
Oh,
and that's all they care about.
I know,
it really is.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing, man. But it's part of the game. It's the way it is, and so it's just like, you know, you gotta play the game and move with the game. So this is kind of our like last hurrah to really like make it, make it. So, yeah, man, I'm just going all in and staying positive and just like believing that we're going to make it, you know, and like we're going to get the yes. And then we're going to become one of the biggest rock bands in the world, you know,
dude,
which is literally
that.
like that's just the perspective I'm taking with it. So
no, and dude, you have to. But I honestly, I love the fact that you're looking at it in that way, and that like I feel firmly that something positive will come from this. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
It's normally like, I don't know, dude. I always feel like as soon as you take that leap in your life, as soon as you're just like, I'm freaking all in, all the chips in, like something. It might not be what you think, but something awesome is on its way, you know?
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's interesting because it's like we've never had more momentum. So like our like listener base is awesome. And I love them. And like they sell out shows for us. They like show up, like they you know, like every time we're touring or playing events, they just absolutely pop off. And it's this interesting place where like the more momentum you get, the less money you have.
Yeah, feel that.
And it's like the more like band debt you go in, right? So it's like this like interesting counterbalance of when you definitely feel like you can't take on anymore, you're seeing yourself have more success. And then, you know, I just hold on to the perspective of just like, man, I would rather like fail in a way where I am left knowing that I just had like nothing left in the tank and like had nothing left to give, you know? And where we're at right now, I'm like, we have something left to give. Like, we have like this tour, new songs, like this new push, and it's like we have something left to give. So like, let's just believe that like there is something for us out there, and then let's see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
kind of not leaving anything on the table.
Yeah, man. And honestly, dude, with the amount of shots to the face that we've taken, like the amount of failures that we've had, it's
God.
like
Yeah.
there's nothing affects us anymore, man. Like me being
skin.
positive and stuff. Yeah, I'm like, whatever. Like we're always dealing with stuff every day. So.
Dude, there you go. There you go. I think that's one thing people don't really realize about like independent bands, especially, man. It's not like, I mean, on stage it's awesome, you know, whenever you're listening to the songs or like watching music videos and stuff, it seems like it's just amazing. But dude, you're hustling, and it's not just the stage time, you know?
Yeah, it's it's tough. It gets pretty stressful, you know, but it's just, yeah, man, I love our people. Like I genuinely do. Like I love our listeners, and like like I love them. And it's just like, yeah, you know, when we're dealing with all these issues and logistics and switching merch vendors and trying to figure out how to monetize everything and blah 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 blah, and how do we get on playlist, and like day-to-day recording in studio, you know, all those things. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like you just see kind of our listeners, and it's just like, dude, like surely we have like one more tank of gas like left in us just to go for it, you know?
Dude,
so
I'm hoping that this tour for you guys, it's not only like a refilling, it's just like one of those freaking limitless fuel cards for you. So, you know.
Yeah, and I hope so too. And what's interesting is like we're literally as close as it can get. Yeah. Like in terms of who we're talking to right now. And like, because the thing is I always have a rule. If someone says no, but they don't say never, that means they're still on the board, because I'm like,
heck yeah.
I'm like, if they orbited us for a reason, it's for a reason.
Yeah,
and it's because they heard our music, they saw our live performance, and they were like, there's something here. And so the cool thing is kind of these talks we've had, they didn't even say no. They were just like, you know, same thing. You don't have a big enough Instagram following or TikTok yet, or your Spotify numbers aren't there, blah, 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 blah. But for me, I'm like, okay, then let's attack all those with everything we have for the next 6 months. Let's put a tour on. Let's sell it out. Let's get all like our content, keep the hype, release these new songs. Like, and I'm like, because then at least, you know, if things don't pan out, like I can hang my hat on the door and be like, hey, like we pushed this thing to the ends of the earth, and like it just didn't work. And like, that's all right. I'm totally fine with that. So I think it's just man, we're as close as it gets. And a lot of times you find yourself asking why. You know, you're like, what else can we do? What else do we have to do to like break through or whatever? But then I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, we're not a victim. We chose to be independent. Like, we chose the hard road, and it's a harder road than I even thought it was.
Like, dang it, I knew it was going to be rough. But this...
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if someone can lighten the load a little bit.
Dude, I remember I was on tour. I was doing an acoustic tour, and I was doing like, before the acoustic tour, I had like a thrash metal band, and everybody in that band, we rode that till the wheels fell off, dude. And I was like, I'm going to do an acoustic tour because I still want to keep touring and I want to keep playing music. So I'm doing an acoustic tour, and I got a text it was like 3 a.m. I was in Knoxville. It was like the first stop of our tour in the dead of summer, and I'm sleeping in the back of my car. And I mean, it's like hot as hell. I'm like dying. The other dude that's with us on this acoustic tour, he's like snoring in my face. And I get a text and it says sell out. And I'm like, what? Because like I'm doing acoustic now instead of metal stuff. And like people look at people that are musicians or touring or playing shows or stuff through like rose colored lenses. They think that it might be like just something a lot more glamorous. And then they realize like how much work you actually put into it in the back end. It's like, good God.
Yeah, I could show them my bank account. They could see the negative amount of money and see how much you don't actually make.
Feel that, dude. Feel that.
Well, how long did you do music for?
From like 18 till like 24. I did I was either supporting acts on tours and stuff like that. I did that for a while. We did a battle of the bands like when I was in high school still, like a senior.
Awesome.
And we won it, and they were like, you get record, like we'll record for you, and then you guys get supporting acts on some of our national tours. And I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
It was really fun, man. It was really fun.
Was it more like metalcore or like?
Yeah, definitely metalcore for sure.
That's what I grew up on, man. Like metalcore was my I know you would never guess like listening to our stuff because it sounds nothing like it, but I like yeah, In Flames, Kill Switch Engage, Hates the Day, Bowels of Judas, like
Dude, yeah.
Emery, like you throw everybody at me, like
Dude,
yeah,
right.
like
So same. We're pretty much the same raising of music. Then.
okay,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Metalcore was a huge when I was a young, very angry, troubled kid.
Yeah, same, dude. But so freaking, how did you get started then from like that into YouTube? Like, how do you start doing your YouTube career? How'd that work?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it was genuinely like totally random. So, obviously COVID hit and hit everybody.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty like endemic in the gaming world for a while, just like as a band. And over COVID, I signed with an esports team. And for anyone watching who doesn't know that, it's like a gaming team. And they sign content creators and blah, blah, blah. So over COVID, I was streaming, but we were recording our album. And then obviously, like when I'm streaming, everyone knows like City of Sound's my baby. They know like that's what I actually do, blah, blah, blah. Because right before COVID hit, we had just done a U.S. tour that was really successful.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And we were just getting ready to play South by Southwest, and we were like, this is it. We're about to blow up. Like, this is it. And then all of a sudden, we got a message that South by Southwest was canceled.
COVID!
Yeah, which obviously happened to everybody.
Yeah.
I think for us, just because we were fully independent in DIY, at that point, literally recording out of a garage, we were renting in a small band house in LA and just like built out the garage, like built it ourselves.
Oh, nice.
And we just kind of, we found ourselves, that was how we were making money and keeping the band afloat. And then all of a sudden now we're not making money anymore.
Yeah.
And so I ended up signing with that esports team. And that's kind of what I did to funnel money into the band. And then I've written and produced for a couple other artists. And that's kind of how I was keeping the band afloat before that.
Oh, that's cool.
And so signed with the esports team, started streaming, and then left that esports team because I don't know if you know anything about the esports world, but shocker.
Yeah. It can be super toxic.
Yeah, they don't handle things super well and don't pay people for a long time and stuff.
Yeah.
So kind of left that situation, and then a friend of mine was like, dude, like, I don't know if you know what reactors are, and because I am going to say one thing, like, I am so hyper focused on like City of Sound that I literally have no idea about like trends outside of what we're doing. Like, like I'm just completely oblivious to so many things. And I was like, I don't know. That's not really my thing. And he was like, dude, I would love to watch you break down like live performances.
Oh, nice.
He was like, that's literally what you do. That's your guys' bread and butter. So I started doing like a couple videos, and like they did well. And one thing I did like about it was, I have not listened to other people's music for like 6 years.
Oh, dang.
I mean, just because like all I listen to is our demos, what we're working on next, what's the next one. Like it's constant, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I realized I liked about it was like, it was kind of forcing me to just like, kind of just watch other artists perform and just like listen and kind of let me get out of my headspace, which is absolute constant chaos and like hyper focus and all these things. And I really liked it. Like, it took time. And so it was kind of trying to figure out like, how can I make the time for this while also making sure that like we're staying alive and we're emailing 1,000 venues every month, blah, 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 and all that stuff.
So who were some of the first people you would have reacted to then? Like did your buddy send you some songs for you to check out or?
No, see, that's the thing is he said it and then just didn't send me anybody.
He's like, do some reactions.
Yeah.
But that's
all. Yeah. No, I did Billie Eilish first, I think.
Oh, nice.
And then I think I did like Panic at the Disco.
God, he's
and then
I'd like voice.
Yeah, oh dude, his voice is incredible.
Yeah.
And then I did like a couple others, and then that's kind of what came around to BTS.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners who is like now like a good friend, she comes like whenever we play Los Angeles, like she's front row. She's there.
Dude, that's awesome.
And like how it is, like when you have like consistent people come to shows, like you end up like becoming close, and like they're like your like original supporters. And she's like one of like our OGs.
Yes.
And she saw my channel, and then we were all hanging out like as a crew, and she was like, hey, have you ever listened to BTS or like K-pop? And I was like, honestly, I have. Yeah. And I was like, honestly, I haven't. And I was like, and I told her, I was like, I've seen pictures of them though. And like those dudes literally look like they're out of like this like cyberpunk and she like
Yeah.
kind of laughed. She was like, I'm gonna send you something, don't watch it,
Mhm.
just record it. And I was
Oh,
like, all right,
nice.
like whatever.
Yeah.
And, I'm expecting some like pretty boy shit. Oh, am I allowed to swear in here? My
No,
bad.
yeah, you're good.
All right,
You're
all
good.
right. I just want to make sure. I'm expecting like super pretty boy, like boy bandy, like
Mhm.
probably like One Direction type stuff, which I was like,
Yeah.
cool. Like that's that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
super marketable. And then she sends me outro tier.
Oh my God, that was my
And
first one too. What?
oh, was it really?
Yeah, dude.
Huh, that's a small world. That's really funny.
Wild. Shout out
Yeah,
to your
that's
friend too, by the way. Shout out
oh,
Meg
hilarious.
for sending me that one, and then shout out your friend for that.
That's what. And what's funny is the reason she sent it to me is she was like, just because of like kind of how we perform live.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit intense, like
Heck yeah.
at our shows, I guess you could say. And she was like, this performance, you're
Mhm.
just gonna like love it. And she
Yeah,
was like, it's
dude.
right down your alley. And then I put it on, and that thing was completely different from
Yeah.
anything that I expected. And
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell did I just watch? Like that is not what I expected at all. And genuinely, like it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like it was like fantastic. And I was like, all right, like that was dope. So I recorded it, and then this is actually a funny story. I actually posted the video, didn't pay attention to my YouTube for like a week because
Mhm.
we were playing like a gaming event.
Mhm.
And so I didn't even like pay attention to my YouTube for like a week. And I came back to my YouTube, and like the video had just
Yeah.
gone insane. And I was like, wait, what's happening right now? And then all of a
What
sudden there
is
was just
this?
like, I was like, what is happening right now?
Who are these army
then I
people?
was like,
what?
Yeah. And then I went and did like a couple other artists just because like, because it's, I don't know. I think I could definitely come off as disingenuous because like I am literally a lead singer of a band.
Mm.
And also like my channel was initially created to like generate a listener base.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I was kind of like, like I'm not gonna do another video yet just because that could seem kind of weird. I went and did like a couple other artists.
Mm-hmm.
Army is intense,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, and also like very like they just won't let you get off that easy. And it was like kind of one of those things where it was like
Yeah.
that video would just have like 1,000 comments like
Mhm.
every like 2 days, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like this is insane.
Yeah.
And then actually, her and I hung out, my friend who sent me the video,
Mm-hmm.
and I started kind of asking her about him. And she was like, honestly, the reason I wanted, now this is going to sound like I'm just like kissing ass, but this is a true story. And she was just like, honestly, the reason I wanted you to listen to him is because they have a very similar story to you guys.
Oh, dang.
And I was
that's
like,
awesome.
oh, interesting. I was like, well, tell me about it. Like, what? And she was like, you know how you guys literally are coming from nothing, and like you're, like, dude, I still do laundry out of a bucket in the
Yeah.
backyard now,
Dude,
just
yeah,
because I'm like, I gotta save money from going to the laundry.
Feel you, dude.
Like just like zero money. Like I'm always in debt, like to the
Yeah.
band, trying to figure out how to pay it off. And she was just like, that struggle, she was like, is very, very similar
Yeah.
to like what they've like dealt with. And I was
Mhm.
like, okay, that's interesting. So it kind of actually made me kind of go back.
Yeah.
And then I did like another video, and then I started doing like a couple, other things. And yeah, man, like I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously though, like they wouldn't be literally how big they are if they
Yeah.
weren't awesome.
But isn't it kind of wild? Like, dude, because whenever I first heard them, I mean, it was recently. It was like post-COVID that I checked them out as well. So they were already this massive global thing. And so whenever I first heard about them, like most of the time, whenever I, like in Western culture, if somebody's that big, it's like, it feels like an industry plant kind of thing. You know what I mean?
100%.
And so I'm like, so I kind of went into it with those eyes at first. And then whenever everybody was like, dude, no, they like roughed it and lived in like a little dorm with 7 people. I'm like, wait, what? Because like, my early years of playing music as well was like sleeping in the Walmart parking lots in the back of a car or something, It's like just random stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I know the struggle. And then you see them do it too. And you're like, damn.
Yeah. And that actually kind of led me, which I think at least a lot of people on my channel don't know that I've done this. And it's because I didn't like record react, but I went and watched their, Bangtan. Bangtan. How do you even say it?
Oh, like
Bangtan?
their introduction thing? Their introduction videos?
Yeah, not the intro. I did that later. It was like almost like the behind the scenes, like little like episodes they did.
Oh, yeah.
And like I actually went and like watched them because I was just like, I was like, okay, I want to see more about them. And I kind of liked it was like very like down to earth
Mm-hmm.
and very like honest kind of about like the struggle and stuff, but yet still like positive and
Yeah.
like hopeful in a
Mm-hmm.
way, and yeah, I just I just resonated honestly,
Yeah.
and when you're a struggling artist and you see another artist who has been through like that struggle and now
Yeah.
they're playing to 100,000 people every
Mm-hmm.
night and they're literally a backbone of a country's economy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're
Exactly.
speaking at the UN and like all this like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I think just for me personally, it was more, I mean, it sounds cheesy, but it was more of a like reminder of like what could happen,
Mm-hmm.
and just being like, yeah, I know we're playing these like 200, 300 cap rooms right now. And like, we're literally like out in the parking lot warming up before we play our
Yeah.
shows and blah, blah,
Feel it.
blah. And it's like, yeah, you're making no money and all this, whatever. And it's like
Yeah.
you're eating protein bars on the road. It's like, like that reminder that there is like this possibility out there
Mhm.
of like
Yeah.
what could be. I think it was like really important for me at the time
Mhm.
because I was in a pretty dark place.
Well, I mean, coming off of like, a tour and all that stuff and COVID and all those things, I could definitely see that.
I was in a pretty dark place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I was just in a really dark place. But like, like our music, literally it's based in like our rule for all of our songs is like it must always end in hope.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And like it's kind of like a cheesy thing we always say in studio of just like if a song's going a little too dark or something, it's like, hey, like it has to end in hope.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's kind of a rule for me, just
That's
because
an awesome
of
way to be, though.
all of my like dark BS. And it's like it's a reminder of like who we're making the music for and like what we're doing it
Yeah.
for. So watching kind of those episodes, it just kind of like brought me out of that a little bit and just really kind of reminded me of like, hey, like there are people who have been through this like BS and have like made it possible. So yeah, man, like I basically just on a much, 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 much smaller level,
Yeah.
I felt like a like kind of resonance
Yeah.
with like where they came from.
It's really cool because, I mean, like, it's just wild to think, first of all, that you can resonate with somebody so completely opposite of us, like, on all honesty. You know what I mean? I think it's awesome that we're able to resonate with him. But, like, I think that was one of the first things that really got me, too. I'm a really big fan of, like, lyrics and stuff. And whenever I really started realizing that they were more a beacon of hope and kind of went through the trenches and got out of the other side, and now they're, like, leading the thing.
Yeah.
It really, that stood out to me as well, too. So I think that's one big... It's cool that both of us maybe came from there,
Yeah. Oh, dude, totally. I think what made me like really like fall in love with them as like an artist and stuff was actually when I first heard Truth Untold.
Yeah, God, that's a good song.
And yeah, and like I had first heard that song, and like I only do like live performances like on my channel, and like that was the one where I was like, all right, there's something like a lot deeper here. Like this is like it was like a legitimate performance. It was very good. Like I think that was when I really was like, all right, like this is like an artist I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
Like,
so after doing like your first reaction to them, how did your channel change, and like how did your band and everything change from your first reaction to them?
Well, so I didn't want to like, I noticed right away that like ARMY was like very giving and like very like
supportive. Yeah.
Very supportive.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so like, I guess for me at first I was like, I don't want to abuse this and make it seem like, and then all of a sudden be like, everyone go listen to my band. So actually for like the first like 3 months on my channel, I didn't even like promote the band at all. And then finally I had a live stream, and there was a good amount of ARMY in the live stream because they're very supportive and very like involved, which is beautiful. And I just asked everyone openly. I was like, listen guys, the reason I started this channel originally was to grow our fan base. And I was like, I don't want any of this to come off as disingenuous. I have to start promoting the band on the channel. Yeah. Like I want to make sure that's okay with all y'all and make sure like that's fine. And then, of course they were like, we don't care. They were like, promote it. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. Dude, and that's the cool thing. Like, that's what I really genuinely love about ARMY. And honestly, that's one reason that whenever I first started with this podcast, I kind of backed away from doing the podcast for a little while because there was like a blow up of different reactors, and I was towards the most recent boom, probably, I guess, or something, you know? I think that's one cool thing about ARMY is they're very, very supportive, but being like upfront and just honest and open about it and being like, hey, this is the whole reason I started this channel, and like they want to help you know what I mean? Or they just want to help people, and I think that's what I love about ARMY. But I'm glad that you said that you were just very open and upfront about it, because like if more people just be like that instead of being like, oh, I've got an ulterior motive, like just, you know, being honest, is nobody's gonna care about it after that. They're gonna be cool with it, you know?
Yeah, totally. And like, and I even like told them, I'm like, guys, like I'm gonna make vlogs like about like funny stories I have from the road. Also, like, I'm editing this stuff myself, and I'm a terrible editor. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. The channel's gonna be terrible. So I was like, I'm just letting you know.
Be bad, guys.
Yeah, I was like, once I get to the point where I can afford an editor, which prayerfully that's like a year from now, where I can afford an editor and things are really, really popping. You know, I have a lot of ideas. I'm gonna do like big tour stories for the band. They're gonna be really funny and stuff like that. But I told him, I was like, my stuff is not gonna be good. So like, please don't think like that, like, because like I'm not a YouTuber, you know, like I don't know what I'm doing, you know. But man, they were super gracious about it, and just like, super supportive. And honestly, it was actually really cool because obviously I never expected that to be an avenue of like where we would gain listeners from. But I have literally said, and the band has, we've always said, whenever we go play somewhere or anything where it's like a different demographic than our usual like base, I'm like, it always works. And I'm like, so it was kind of cool to see that like people who were like supporters of a 7-man group who does all these different genres. It was cool to see, like, not all of them, but to see some of them like really resonate with our sound, our message. You know, just like who we were. So yeah, I'm rambling.
No, but dude, I agree with that though. It's kind of cool because like all of my reactions are like metal vocalist reacts, and you'd be surprised how many metal fans will be like, dude, I freaking love metal and I also love BTS, or I love metal and I love this band. So it's true. It's like, it's wild. There's so many in ARMY, you know, that it's just like inevitably there's going to be people that are just going to resonate with your music. So that's cool.
But when you think about like the dynamic changes in their songs and the road mapping, like it totally makes sense that someone from like a metal, like hardcore, like background would resonate. Like with their songs. I mean, I totally get it in terms of like dynamic changes and shifts.
And too, like, so do you write the lyrics in your band as well too? You write, so like I love lyrics. I'm like obsessed with lyrics. I was that kid in school. Whenever I would buy a new album, I'd just pull out the book and just read it while I'm listening, you know?
Same.
And so like, it just feels natural, I guess. Like, even though I don't know, you know, Korean, hearing them singing it and stuff like that, and then like checking out lyrics and just really diving a little bit deeper, it just felt more natural, I guess, than I would have assumed it was going to, because you know, but there's so many random little things that I'm like, this makes so much sense that a metal fan would be into them, but it's weird. You got to dig a little bit, I think, first though, you know? Well, do you have a bias for BTS, or somebody that like stands out to you the most?
All right, here's the thing. I think on my channel, people keep trying to tell me who my bias is, and I'm like, one, I didn't know what that was for like 6 months. And people were like, you're biased. And I was like, what does that mean? And then people were saying, was it called a wrecker or something?
I keep messing it up. It's either wrecker or breaker, and I say the wrong word every time.
Okay, I just found out what that was a week ago. And I was on a live stream, and I was like, can someone please tell me what this means? Because I don't understand. I mean, I guess first off, my thing is like, genuinely, like, I kind of appreciate each of them now that I've listened to a lot more of their solo stuff. I kind of just like appreciate each of them for kind of their route that they've taken and like kind of their artistry. I know everyone's gonna be like J-Hope, because I get that all the time on my channel, and like I do, like I genuinely like him. I love his performance energy. Like, he always seems to bring kind of like a lightness to even the serious performances, but keeps it still serious and like deep. J-Hope's definitely up there. I love Jimin's voice. Love Jimin's voice, man. And I think there's like an interesting like I don't know. I feel like there's just always a no, see, because now I'm switching, because I don't know, because like honestly, like, dude, I've listened to Snooze like 20 times.
Oh my god,
and
so good.
again, as like a struggling, starving artist,
Yeah, yeah,
like listening to that song with Suga, like that, it's genuinely great,
yeah.
and like the message of the song is great.
I actually got that tattooed on me. It's covered up right now. It's moving. I'm gonna be moving it to here. But it
did
was
you really?
tattooed on my arm, like right
Oh
here,
man, you
actually.
got it bad.
Yeah, dude, like snooze, man. Because yes, dude, like, well, I mean, I don't know. Whenever I was coming up, I remember like there was a pivotal moment in our musical career where it was like if we had support, it would have gone a lot further. And I remember being kind of denied that support, and I was like, damn. So it just like
Feel that.
yeah, it just it sucked, man. So I was like, in this song, so I got It's Gonna Be Okay, but I got it written in Korean, like Hangul. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, if like growing up or coming up in music, I had somebody that would say that to me, then it probably maybe, who knows what they would have done. So yeah.
Who's your bias?
Jin. Everybody's gonna be like Jin. So yeah, Jin definitely is my bias. I went to South Korea actually for the last festa to go out there and like
seriously.
Yeah, dude, it's so fun. It was so fun.
Whoa,
festa.
Okay.
It was like a huge goal, and I'm kind of one of those people that like if I say I'm gonna try to do this, I'm gonna really try to do it. But I didn't know that it was gonna happen, but it actually worked out this year. So
that's incredible.
It was wild, dude. It was a wild time.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, so Jin though. Jin definitely the biased. And then like I've got 6 other, is it bias record or bias breaker? I don't know.
I'm trying to keep it all straight. I love Jin though. The Astronaut genuinely is a great song.
Dude, so yes,
it's a great song.
I freaking love that song. And I saw that y'all did a cover of that song, which is freaking awesome. I wish I would have done a reaction to it now thinking about it. I should do a reaction, like a retrospective one, but
which speaking of lyrics, because the verses are all they're all in Korean. So I had to go through and rewrite everything.
God.
But when you translate Korean straight to English, it does not work when it comes to like different rhythmically, melodically, vowel shapings. Like so like when we did the cover, we started recording the cover, and I was row mapping and like orchestrating like how we were going to do it acoustically. And then all of a sudden I'll just translate over the verses. And I translate over. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense in English. And then I tried to sing it, and like none of the words fit like any of the...
Oh man.
So then I had to go in and completely rewrite. So basically what I tried to do was like take what he's saying in the verses and try to capture like the same spirit of like what he's saying, but then like rewrite it in English, but still make it. I still wanted to make it like City of Sound though, like kind of like how I write for City of Sound, because obviously like how I write for another artist or whatever is completely different that you write for City of Sound.
Oh yeah.
So I was trying to like mold both worlds, so it still
that's cool.
It paid homage to him, but also like sounded like us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But man, that was a journey. Like doing that was interesting. I've never done anything like that before in my life.
I guess I've never really thought about like, because the only cover that I've worked on since doing reactions is the 1OK Rock one, and it's
they're so good,
dude. Yes, but the Japanese, I've been learning a little bit of Japanese. And
sick.
And I'm trying to. So I've worked out. I mean, dude, I was going like, I don't know, like 4th time on the song, just getting the phonetic, like everything down to try to speak it in Japanese, and we still haven't gotten that cover out yet. So like I'm still working on this freaking cover. So I can feel like that would be rough, man. So it's cool that you wrote it though. Rewrote the verses and stuff.
Yeah, it was cool. And again, like, it's like we were talking about before, it kind of forced me outside of like all of our stuff going on. And it was kind of fun to like dive into like another artist's song and then like translating it and then kind of morphing. Like it was just kind of a cool, it was just kind of a cool experience. And I had quite a few people ask for that on the channel. And then I was like, hey band, we could do this thing. And like, the band's very talented at what they do. So I was like, we'll crush it. Like, let's do it.
Speaking of, you're freaking like 2 people in your band I would like to just really quick shout out. You're freaking obvious. This is probably an obvious one, but your violinist crushes, man. Absolutely.
Nova. And we have a joke that she's by far the best musician in the band. Like she can rock Paganini. Like for anyone who like knows violin, like classical, like she's genuinely so overqualified to be in the band, like for like her skill set and her schooling and like how good of like a classical violinist she is. She's very good. She's very good. But I'm still the front man,
dude. Yeah.
She fights it all the time. She always does that joke where she claims to be the front man of City of Sound. It's very funny.
She just ever do the whole like shoulder in front of you and just violin solo.
Yeah. we have a lot of like fun joking around about it. It's really
awesome.
fun.
But that, and then freaking dude, your drummer, man. I've been I watched a few of the music videos, and your drummer is a freaking beast, dude. Just
So basically, so for anyone watching this, so Nova plays violin, Andrew plays guitar, and then Andrew and I also produce together. So we produce all of our songs together. Andrew's a fantastic producer, fantastic engineer, incredible guitarist, all the things. And then Chris, our drummer, band dad, who I call him band dad.
Yes, you gotta have him.
I call him band dad. Chris was a godsend. It is crazy that we got him. He was the drummer for Good Charlotte.
Oh my God. What?
Literally.
Hey, that's wild.
So 10-year-old me, if I told him like, hey, just so you know, like the drummer of Good Charlotte's gonna be playing with you, like in like 15 years, I would have been like, what? Like losing my mind. And so Chris was Good Charlotte's drummer.
That is wild, man.
And now, so we don't have a main member as a drummer, so we have like a drum roster, so it's the three of us. But Chris is our number one, obviously.
Yeah.
And then if we have to go with anyone else, it comes through his referral of like, cool. No, this is who you need to play with here, or here's to play with here. Chris is an amazing human being who has been through. For anyone who does not know his story, it is unbelievable, and like he doesn't even mind me like sharing about it. But like, Chris came out of like drug addiction, like completely transformed his life, and like
awesome,
has like he is basically like the story of City of Sound and a human. Like our message is like he is like the living embodiment of what we want our message to be.
Yeah. Well, is he going to be going on tour with y'all? Is he going to be your drummer on tour? Okay.
Which I'm so happy about.
That's very cool.
And it's just kind of like, as we said, like this tour is very big for our existence. And so when him and I talked about it, he's like, bro, I'm not missing that.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was like, I'm not. He was like, this is like the chance. Like, like I believe in this. He was like, let's go for it. So,
dude, yes. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you got to have somebody like that on board, especially. Like, is this y'all's first tour with him, or has he toured with y'all?
No, he's toured with us before. Okay. Yeah, he's toured with us before. But yeah, Chris is very good.
Heck yeah.
He's very, very talented.
Yeah, heck yes, dude. That's one of the, like, obviously your vocals, man. You've got very powerful vocal style. And, like,
thank
just
you, dude.
Those ridiculously awesome eyes, and your vibrato, by the way. Like I was listening to, I was like, good God, man, he's got it.
Thank you, bro. Tell me more.
So, what is your history with music? Like, how did you start in your band, and then like, were you singing before that, or what?
Okay, yeah. So I'll make this long story short. Basically, no, I have actually only been playing piano for barely 10 years. I got started very late in music.
Did you start playing piano first, or were you singing?
Like when I was like 21, 22.
Oh, nice.
No, 18. I think I started when I was like 18. Yeah, 18. So I've been playing piano for 10 years. Still the world's okayest pianist. I have a shirt that says world's okayest pianist.
I freaking love it.
And it's so fun to wear. It's hilarious. But yeah, basically, I had a really bad injury from like just like some sports I used to do. I had a really bad injury. Went in for a shoulder surgery. It did not go well.
Oh dang!
It was a botched surgery.
Oh god.
Went in for a second one. It went worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Long story short. And then like was committed to rehab for 10 months. And it didn't work. So I still have a permanent injury in my shoulder. So until we can make millions of dollars, I won't be able to get it fixed. So that's also one of my driving forces, is because I want to fix my body. So I want this to be really big.
Oh god.
Yeah, so I got a permanent injury in my shoulder. You'll even see me at shows. Like I'll put both hands up, and you'll see like my arm doesn't go all the way up.
Oh damn.
So I have, it's not woe is me, but I have 10% range of motion without pain in my shoulder.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it's like completely locked and frozen. Blah blah blah. So I have like down like my whole right side. I got all kinds of problems. Whatever.
That's brutal, man.
So like on tour, I have to stretch for like an hour every morning, rolling out, like even off the highway, like
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
I have to
man.
stretch for like an hour before shows and stuff like that, just because like it's like a health thing, like
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what that led to was
Mhm.
my parents had this really just like, dude, piece of crap piano
Yes.
in the house. Like, and when I mean that, like I mean like broken, like keys ripped off, and like
Yankees.
yeah, like janky, like shredded down the
Nice.
sides, whatever. Completely out of tune. And I just started sitting on it because I had nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was a super, I was a super active guy,
Mm-hmm.
active kid, active dude, and all of a sudden I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I sat at the piano and I just started playing stuff.
That's awesome, man.
And yeah, at first just with my left hand because I couldn't even use my right hand.
Oh,
And
God.
then my
So
mom
just
came down
learning
one
some
day.
melodies
Yeah.
and bass notes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and my mom came down one day. She was like, "What's happening?"
What
I was
is
like,
this?
"I don't know. I don't know. I just started playing on the piano." And then that led to me getting really interested in film score, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with film, and then I started singing. To I don't know if you know who Miles Kennedy is, who's the lead singer of Alter Bridge.
Okay, I was about to say, I know the name, and yeah, Alter Bridge for sure.
Okay, yeah. So Miles Kennedy, that's when I started to sing.
Oh, dang.
So shout out to Miles Kennedy, who has no idea that he's the one who
Miles.
taught me how to sing.
He's going to be watching this podcast. He's going to comment.
That would be crazy.
Miles!
I would lose my mind. Yeah, so he inadvertently taught me how to sing.
Oh, that's awesome, though.
And which is kind of why, you were talking about like range and stuff. The reason I have that is literally because of Miles Kennedy. 'Cause
Yeah.
his range is incredible. His voice is unreal. Yeah, and then that just led me to start. I was like, oh, I'm going to try to kind of write my own stuff and try to like see what happens and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and that's kind of how it all started.
I think that's so cool, man. And speaking about like where, I guess, with you learning how to sing based on him, I was listening. Do you know who Periphery is? They're
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
nice. Well, like Spencer, the vocalist for Periphery, is one of my favorite vocalists, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was talking about like him. He doesn't really have like professional training or anything like that, but he just started singing, listening to like Corey Taylor in the car and stuff like that, and just like driving and singing that. And that's a lot of where I came from vocally as well too. I've done vocal lessons. I've been trained and stuff like that, but as far as where I really started and got a foundation was in that realm, just kind of listening to bands that I was growing up to and trying to sing it, And but that's awesome though. Alter Bridge, man, is that kind of the music that you were listening to, I guess, before this?
I mean, a lot of like metalcore. I mean, honestly, like Alter Bridge was probably as light as I went.
Yeah.
In terms of like what I was listening to. Yeah, it's interesting because, I do tell people that, and everybody thinks that my inspirations were Coldplay, Imagine Dragons, 30 Seconds to Mars, M8, which M83 is still an inspiration because I do love M83.
Yeah.
But like, that's what they always think are like inspirations. And it's just funny when I'm like, actually,
they're pretty
my inspirations were completely different than our sound, but I think our sound really came from kind of my obsession with film score.
Dude, you can hear that a lot in the actual composition of the music as well. So I think
thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah, man, and I just became kind of obsessed with, I could kind of start seeing the tribalism of the world, and when I first started writing music and kind of what was happening to us, and then I was just like, whatever I'm gonna make, like I want it to make anyone who's questioning their existence. I want it to at least make them want to stay around one more day. Like that's what I want.
Awesome.
Whatever I make, like to do that. Just as someone who has struggled with that stuff, I've had friends who have taken their own lives, stuff like that. I was just like, if I'm going to attach myself to anything, like I'd rather just attach myself to that. And then I was with like a very small label in Indiana that did not work out, and then I was with a manager in LA. That's how I came out to LA. And then he got weird. Let's just say that.
Oh God.
He got weird. Pretty classic LA experience. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And then because he got weird, and then I wasn't okay with him being weird. All of a sudden, I was basically homeless in LA.
Oh no,
and,
dude. No.
Yeah.
That's very similar to a Nashville experience I've had, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, funny.
Yeah, we didn't end up signing with him, but it got weird before we signed. So
Creeper, industry creeper. Yeah.
Very. And I was like, oh God. I look like me and my brother were in the same place at this time, and I just looked over at him and I was like, nope. And then we just
it's
left.
like, right? Like you feel the intuition. So this dude, which I'll just tell, I've actually never told this story, so whatever, this is interesting. Which is just funny because now I'm just thinking about it. The whole reason I came out to LA was because it was like, manager, I'm gonna write with these artists and then like start up City of Sound, because I already had a plan for City of Sound. And we came like out of the gym, we got in his car, and then he reached over, grabbed the inside of my thigh, and he goes, high up on my thigh.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he was like, I just love your legs. And then I was like, get your fucking hand
Oh my God.
Don't you ever fucking touch me like that again. Yeah. And then
good for you, man, by the way. Good for you.
I mean, I don't mess with that stuff.
I know, but like literally for every person that does stand up, there's probably like 10 or 20 that do not. And like, so
yeah, I know
good
some
on
of
you,
them.
dude. Good on you. Yeah, same. And it's weird because like you say in LA, and it's weird because Nashville's got that real lot. It's gross, dude. I don't get people like that at all. I'm like, why? But
it's so interesting that it really is so across the industry.
Yeah.
Like more than people even know.
Yes.
And it got me blacklisted. For about a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
So I ended up writing probably 100 songs for free for artists just to try to get back into random studios that had no idea like who I was. Like, I mean, it is a real thing, so that happened. He lost his mind.
Good.
And then started like screaming and yelling, like, I'm not gay and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. That's not the problem. It was
never about that.
That's not what this is about. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, it was just weird. And like, then it got creepy.
Yeah.
Like, then he was like, we like had gotten back to this like condo I was staying in that was his. And then he just like stood in the doorway and like wouldn't move. And I was like, and it turned into this whole heated thing.
Yeah. Yours sounds like you were in there. Like for us, it was in a meeting, and it got really, really uncomfortable. And then, and so like, luckily, like, I was just in Nashville visiting for that, but dang, man.
It was, it honestly, like that night, cause I was leaving, was like creepy.
Yeah.
It was like, And then I've heard other things about that person like since then. And I was like, I made the right decision. Oh my God.
Dude.
Like, I'm glad that I like,
yes.
But so anyways,
that's you're here. Yeah.
That's a little bit about which is funny. I'm like, I guess I've never even talked about that before, but So,
dang.
So
well,
then,
but
and then now I find myself, basically, starving artist and in debt, trying to get an independent band to explode.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? Like, I don't know, man. I guess in like a weird metaphorical way, you didn't sell your soul for this, and also like, I don't know. I feel definitely strongly about this tour. Like, I can't wait to. Hopefully, we can talk to you after you get back from tour, and just
that would be cool.
Like,
that would be really cool, dude. I would totally be down for that.
Yes.
Well, and what's funny is, so I have no idea like what you know about City of Sound. Like in the last year, we started playing some really big events and like some really cool stuff. And like we headlined VidCon, which was crazy.
Oh, that's awesome, man. VidCon's huge.
that was nuts.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to like see like our bass come out in a really big way that we weren't even aware of.
Yeah.
And we were happy because we finally got to play in front of a demographic that I was always like, I see our numbers. I know we have these listeners, but they can't come to our shows because all of our shows are 21 plus because we're not big enough to do all of shows.
Yeah, that's the huge. Yeah.
And so at VidCon, all of a sudden it was like all ages.
Yeah.
So we had these like younger people coming, and man, they were just wild. Like, it was awesome. Like I was like, this is what we always knew we had. Like, we always knew we had this. Funny enough, though, all of a sudden we started kind of getting a little bit of name recognition, especially like within LA. Started getting like a lot of press released about us. Guess who all of a sudden tried to send me like a feeler message because they know now that like the farther we go, the more dangerous we become to their whole career.
Oh God. Yeah, man. The music industry is dark, though. It can
dark,
be,
man.
for sure.
I mean, I got someday I'll just like.
We just need to do another podcast like this, but just a tell-all. I got some Nashville
I can tell you
ones,
stories.
and
I can tell you stories.
We'll do like an East Coast versus West Coast. God,
That's
dude.
really funny.
They are not ready for that podcast.
No, it would make
God.
a lot of people mad.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Oh, God. Well, since doing YouTube and since doing like reactions to different bands that you've been checking out, how do you feel like your musical, like your writing and also, if this applies, your stage performances, do either of those differ since you started doing reactions and now like opening yourself up to more music?
Hey, that's a really good question. That's a great question. Yeah, actually. What's been kind of cool about diving into all these different artists is I get little moments that kind of like when now I'm like kind of writing and like, you know, like I'll be on the piano a lot, you know, and stuff, or just like in studio, like working with like a lot of strings and pads. It is interesting now, like I'll watch something and I'll be like, I really like that like melodic line or that like dynamic structure of that song. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, what would that sound like as City of Sound? I'm like, oh, that's like, that's a really interesting. Actually, what is kind of funny is like this is such a shameless plug. We just released our brand new song, Us.
Yes.
Right. So we just released our brand new song, Us. That whole idea of that melodic line actually came from I had reacted to a BTS and a 1OK Rock song.
Oh, nice. Well, you can't go wrong getting inspiration from either of those artists.
No,
I know,
awesome. Right? And I was going through like both of them, and I was like, oh, there's like a fun there, and then there was like an anthem vibe that 1OK Rock had done. And I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool like if like I tried to combine these worlds a little bit. Yeah. Like what would that feel like? And then that's where that song came from. So
that's so cool.
I know. So it's a great question because I never would have talked about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it definitely, you know, which I think is great. It just makes me expand on what is possible, ideas. And then performance wise, I don't think I've changed my live performance. I definitely get amped up though. So
that's cool. Yeah.
A reason I like J-Hope so much is because he's so like intense and animated on stage. And like, so like it gets me pumped up. So
that's cool.
The band knows I do this. No one knows I do this. So I'm about to, so like the week before our shows. So we have a show next Friday, right? In LA. So we're playing in LA. And come Monday, what I do is whenever we're getting ready for tour or a big show, that week before, I put on live performances of a bunch of different artists. And I stretch and like I roll out and I just like get pumped. Yeah. One of the things I do a lot is I put on like J-Hope's live performances. Yes. Because like, well, it just gets me like, it gets me really hyped. Yeah. And you know, like I'm like, oh man, I'm ready for this shit. Like, let's go. Like, let's go. And so it sounds super dorky, but it is true. So yeah, like, dude, great question. I literally have never even talked about that. So that's a awesome, really good question. Yeah.
I like him. But yeah, it's like, it's been wild since doing reactions to, especially like, well, first of all, BTS was like, for me, it was, they opened the floodgates for different bands to start kind of coming in. Cause I was just literally the same bands that I had been listening to since like whenever, that were just stuck in my rotation. You know, if they came out with a new album, I'd check it out, but that was about it, you know? And then once I started listening to BTS and I was like, well, why do if I like this and I never thought I would like this, what else is out there? So they really helped like open my musical eyes to different stuff. And it's been wild. Like what I used to write versus what I write now is completely, I wouldn't say it's changed, but it's evolved, you know, and like it's the same structures, I guess, kind of, but just like evolved now. And I think it's been fun, man.
Which is like, I mean, that's what, you know, music artists should do for each other, right? Like you someone who's completely different from you. Like I have a buddy, his name's Jamie Miller, and he's like a pop artist, and like he has a completely different sound from us, but like his voice is incredible and his songs are incredible. Yeah. And like I'll listen to him, and like it, you know, it like inspires you, even though you're completely different. Like that's what it's supposed to be, you know?
Exactly. And,
yeah, are you like putting any like new stuff out? Or
yeah, I'm working on it. Like my life recently, like scheduling has been very wild. I've been doing a lot of travel vlogs, so I haven't been home. Like this is the first solid like 3 weeks I've been home for like since the starting of the year.
Oh wow,
so it's been kind of wild. But I'm working on. I've got like 4 songs and then a couple of acoustic songs that I'm working on.
Dope. What's the artist name? Is it just John Reeves? Or?
Yeah. It's just gonna be that.
I mean, it's a great artist name, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it is. John Reeves is marketable as hell.
I was blessed with it. I don't know what happened, but you know,
when
I don't know yet. I've got 2 songs completely done, and then I've got 2 songs that I'm working on, still trying to get the like, I don't know. I feel like my vocals aren't good enough on them, so I'm really just like going in there and just patching every once in a while.
Relate.
It's so hard to get something that you're like done.
Yeah.
I've got two that I'm like that because I was actually. Do you ever like shelf a song and then you come back to it and you're like, I can't believe I did that. That's freaking awesome.
100%.
So those two
100%.
songs, I did that, and I'm like, all right, we're not touching them. But then the other two, I'm like, I gotta fix something here. Something just doesn't sound right.
Do you think you'll just release like a single first, just to like start getting the?
Maybe, yeah, probably. It's just
you should.
Yeah, I need to. I feel like, and I've been talking about this before. Like, I feel there's this pressure now because like my YouTube channel popping off, and I feel like a lot of people are like looking and like, what is it gonna sound like? And my voice is my talking voice and my singing voice are almost like completely different, and so yeah, it's just I think I'm going to jar a lot of people.
Same though, same.
Like,
my singing voice is completely different.
People are going to be like, okay, so
dude, you should put it out. Do a whole month. I mean, you're probably going to do this, but like, do a whole month load up of promo. Like, you've got a big channel, like you got a large channel to utilize. Like, just hype it up and then drop it.
It's going to happen.
Put it out there.
It will happen. Maybe this is what I needed. Let me know in the comments chat.
No, it will be great. You should put it out.
I guess. All right.
You should.
I'll send it to you first. I'll send you a song first and you'll be like,
okay,
all right,
dude,
tell me what you
shoot it to me. But is music like something that like you want to like get back into and like do again?
So I was thinking about this because a lot of the traveling that I do now is for travel vlogs for concerts. So essentially I'm still going to concerts and like experiencing them with bands.
That.
Like one of my favorite things about touring is meeting people. Like I love performing, but I love the conversations before and after concerts. It's like one of my favorite things. So like I'm scratching that itch a lot, but I was coming back from I went to a Rose concert in Atlanta, the Rose, and on my way back from that I was like, if this is what music is in my life, like sharing it with people instead of necessarily creating it, I feel like I'm okay with that. So I don't know how much I'm going to try to like pursue the rock star anymore. I don't know though. I haven't shelved it for sure. It's just like I'm okay if it does or doesn't happen, you know?
Bro, just release a song.
Yes. Doing it. I'm gonna
like,
do it.
Yeah, just put it out. Like who gives a shit what anyone thinks?
Yeah.
Like also it's gonna be good.
Thank you.
People will like it.
All right, heck yeah.
Like it will be good.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. And it too, like I think one thing that you were saying with a lot of your music is like it needs to have hope. A lot of mine is like I feel like I try to write something that like will get me out of a thing, or I write what I needed to hear at the time or something like that. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, you're talking to that's 100%.
So I don't know. Hopefully it's gonna be I know the song lyrically is a very motivational and hopefully inspirational song for a lot of people. So it will come.
Put it out.
I'll do it. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
Seriously, like I'm serious. Dude, take it from somebody who like every single day I don't even know if we can exist anymore.
Yeah,
because because we're broke as shit,
dude. I feel it.
Like take it from somebody who literally like, we literally live and die by every release, every single show, like everything. Like, dude, put it out. Don't even sit on it. Just put it out there. Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Like,
then.
Yeah, dude, I'll share it out. I'll listen to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to do a video of some kind for it. You know what I mean? I feel like now to do a release, you should do a video as well. And
yeah, it's just, the problem with ours is that I'm always trying to like tell like some subtle, overly pretentious story so that the music video costs a lot of money.
Oh, God. I feel, yeah.
Like, dude, the one we're releasing tonight for us, like the music video literally broke me. Like I've been broke for like 4 months because of the music video. And like the band channel's not even monetized yet. So like I'm like, I know I'm not seeing anything back from it.
Oh, go watch the video, homies. Everyone go watch this. Oh my God.
But you know, the idea is like you eat it because I'm like, I might be broke now.
Yeah.
But putting this thing out there could literally be and also because like, well, whatever. We're just talking about it now, but like our tour we're gonna go on is gonna be called the Us Tour. And so like it's basically named off the song. So it's like, well,
that's cool.
All the eggs are in the basket on this music video, you know? And I'm just like, dude, you just got to put it out.
Yeah.
Like,
well, dude, so we do have some fan questions for you if you're good with answer. Are you good with some fan questions?
For me?
Yeah. They were like, you've got who coming on? What?
Oh, interesting. That's nice. Oh, that's sweet. That makes me feel good.
Right? Heck yeah. Well, we took the best ones because we had quite a few. So I took the best of the questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I love them so much.
Yeah. All right, so this one is from Auntie Cat, which is an amazing person. She said, after getting to know BTS's music and them as people, what changed, if any, have you noticed in your lyric writing or producing? So we kind of did talk on that, but like as far as lyrics, do you notice any kind of change from getting to know them as like people and in that?
Not changes in my lyrics. No, no. I am pretty like, I don't even know how to say it. Like I have the Silmarillion right here, like right next to me, like, which is like one of my main inspirations on writing and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
So my inspirations for writing like comes from like Tolkien, Hemingway. Like that's kind of where like that's like kind of where like a lot of like my lyrical imagination goes. So like my lyrics haven't changed. I think it's just more of, honestly, for me, it's more all that stuff is like more of an escape, if that makes sense. It's like fun for me, and like they kind of remind me of fun. So like whenever I do a video for my YouTube that's like with them, I'm just like, oh, I know this is gonna be fun. I know it's gonna be good. I know like I'm gonna have fun interacting with everybody. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more kind of free, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
cool.
I guess that's my answer. I don't know if that's a bad answer.
No, it's totally, dude, that's totally answered. And I feel that too, though, because like for us, or for my channel on Thursdays, like every Thursday, we just watch a BTS compilation, and it's just like, I don't edit it at all. I just record it and I throw it on YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so like today, we just dropped one, and it was like, but it's always like funny stuff. So it's like a no pressure, just fun reaction, and I don't even think. I'm just giggling most of the time. So yeah, BTS definitely, like, I feel that.
Yeah.
This one is from Grand Meg, and it says, what is your top 5 BTS songs?
Outro Tier has to be on there.
Heck yes.
Mainly just because that was my like initiation into this whole world. Like, dude, I still feel like I still don't even consider myself ARMY, because people ask me all the time. I'm like, I don't know enough. Like, I'm like, it's kind of like if you start a new anime, like One Piece, and there's like 100 seasons, and I'm like, how am I ever gonna watch this whole thing?
That is the greatest analogy of all time, by the way. BTS is the One Piece of freaking their genre. They are.
There is so much on them that like it actually is like overwhelming me sometimes, because I can't figure out what is from what, and like so like it gets confusing. But like Outro Tier has to be on there.
Okay.
Truth Untold, Anpan Man, just because I love how deep the songwriting and the concept is of like the lore. It's not BTS, but the Astronaut has to be up there just because once I saw that whole performance of like Jin coming back with Coldplay and performing the song, I was like, I love this. Like, this is everything that I love about music. So I know it's not technically.
No, it totally counts. Totally counts.
Not technically. I mean, yeah, you know, I'm sure somebody would be like, that doesn't count. Spinebreaker. I love Spinebreaker.
Have you seen the making of music video for that one?
No.
It is so funny, dude. So funny.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's so good, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, did I say 5? I don't even know. I'm just rambling.
It feels.
I'm just rambling on what I.
It works though, dude. It works.
Yeah, I mean, and then also just to add on, honestly, like, I love the Jack in the Box album.
Oh God, dude.
Like, I really do.
It was such a change up, man. It was such a change up.
It's like, I love the the production and like even like the chord structure that were like chosen. Like, I genuinely like love that album. I think it's awesome. I have the stickers of it on my keyboard that I tour with.
Oh, dude, that's
I literally like. It's funny because like I'll play a show and no one at our shows knows what those stickers are. But like, that's what
you're gonna get somebody that's gonna be like, "Are you ARMY?" And
it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna be like, "You saw the stickers?" Like, it's gonna be really fun.
Yes, dude. Yeah. I freaking love it though, man. And dude, Jack in the Box is kind of wild to think, but that was like the first. That was like opening the floodgates for their solo albums, you know. And it's wild to think about that.
I have it right.
Dang.
Oh no, yeah, I still haven't taken this out.
Hope on the Street.
This is the Hope on the Street. Yeah, this is the Hope on the Street. Yeah,
dude, that's so good. He's just like he's such an inspirational songwriter as well, man. Just like the way that he approaches, I think, his music. And have you watched his production diaries?
So I just started the documentary.
Yes.
From Jack in the Box. From a year ago. That's on Amazon, I think. I think it's on Amazon. So I just started it, or on Disney Plus or something.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like in the middle of that right now, that documentary, which like I was already a fan of his, and now I'm like,
then just seeing
you just
him
become
like,
more of a fan.
Yeah.
Like
Dude, watching him at the computer and those vocal takes that he was doing where he's just stopping, starting, stopping, starting. He was like trying this riff, trying this melody. It wasn't working. It changed the way that I actually record vocals, dude. Like now I'll record vocals just like this. Like sitting here with even a microphone like this or this microphone or another one similar to it. Just sitting here working like he did. It changed the way I did vocal takes.
Take after take after take
after
take. Dude, I've re-recorded vocals like 8 times, like and whole vocals. I'll do a whole thing. We comp the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we send out and I hear it and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like this is not good enough.
Oh
like,
man.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, then of course I'm like, ugh. Like I
why do I do this? No, I feel that though. But like it's really cool, I think. And also as well, Jimin has a production diary. I just like watching people creating music. It really
I didn't know that.
helps me
I need to watch that.
Like,
that's interesting.
Dude, yes. I didn't know Jimin wrote a lot of his Face album. You can watch him write it with another guy. I think it's P-Dog. Somebody's probably going to be like, it's not. It's somebody else. I think it's P-Dog, though.
I need to watch that.
Dude,
I didn't know that.
Those production diaries are so freaking cool because, like, I feel like you can take something from any musician. You can learn something from anybody, you know?
Right.
And like with J.o.t, and the way that he was just sitting there and constantly start, stop. If it didn't feel right, he did it again. And then Jimin, like you can see a lot of the way that they wrote the songs was really freaking cool.
I need to watch those.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
This is another question. We've got a fan question. It says, if you could have only one BTS member feature on one of your songs, who would it be?
Oh, man. Feature on a City of Sound song or me feature on one of okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's like actually a genuinely difficult question. I feel like, geez, I don't know. I would actually. I mean, this again, it's gonna sound ridiculous. I would love to have a rapper on one of our songs.
Oh
just
yeah,
because
I
think, I think like with our sound, it would actually sound very almost like mid to late 2000s when like hip hop was, or like early 2010s when hip hop was doing like those really cool like anthemic hooks, but it was like a rap song.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have like RM Suga or J-Hope, like any of them on one of our songs. I think that'd be a sick collaboration. I think vocally, awesome. I think this is going to surprise people because I almost like never talk about this. I would actually genuinely love to have like V collaborate on one of our songs.
Dude, y'all's voices would work though.
Well, and that's why like his like more like baritone like vocal and like what he can do, I think would sound really really sick. At least off the top of my head, that's like where my head goes.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah.
Good question. That's a hard question.
Pretty solid answer. Because at first I was like Jimin probably because like y'all's vocal styles, but you don't want somebody that's like, you know,
we would be very similar.
Yeah. Dang. All right. I like the answer. And then the last one that we've got on here is, what is your favorite music video or performance that you've reacted to so far of theirs? Is there one that just stands out to you?
Truth Untold really hit me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the live performance wasn't perfect, but it's because they covered it in fog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is literally a death sentence to anybody who's actually like a real vocalist. Fog's terrible.
Dude,
it's terrible.
Smelling that brings back trauma memories.
Bro, it dries out everything in your throat immediately. It's terrible for you. But like, I think when I heard Truth Untold, I think I was just in a mental place where when I watched the live performance, like, I just loved it. Like, and the fact they were just standing there, like, not doing anything. So it's probably not a popular answer because, like, they're not doing anything. There's not crazy production. Like, it's not. But I think there was just, I think that it was the first time I had heard that song. I loved, like, just straightforwardness of, like, the performance of, like, just stand here and sing.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, just what that song's about, too. I think I just, like, I think that's number one for me, honestly, out of all the ones.
That's an awesome answer, though, too. I like that. I feel like that one was a really genuine performance as well, too. They were just standing there. And sometimes I like those better where they're not doing choreography. Then they're just really focusing on the performance or delivery.
That's a perfect way to say it. It just felt really, really real.
Like,
you know, and I just resonated with it, honestly.
Heck yes, man.
Yeah.
Dude, they said we couldn't do it. They were like, there's no way y'all can get through all these questions. And we freaking did it. We did it.
Wait, but what's yours?
My favorite, you know, I was going to go trauma on people and I was going to say Snooze from August D, the final, but nope, can't even go with that one. I was gonna give him that one, but dang, favorite live performance?
Yeah.
How do I ask the question? I don't even think about my own answer. How's this? How is this a thing?
I'm a big fan of turning
Yeah.
like any kind of interview or anything on the.
Now we're turning the interview on you, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have a new song coming out in September, so
Yeah, exactly. Tell me a little bit
There you
about that. Favorite live performance. I'm gonna have to say probably, dude. Outro Tear was one of my first ones, and like them tearing up and being that emotional. And the one that I saw was like, I would say that's probably one of my favorite ones. And then
that's a good one.
And then there's Cypher 3, which I don't know if you've ever seen this one, but Cypher
Yes,
3.
dude. Yes.
They did in I think it was in Busan that they played that massive show, and it was like one of the last full band concerts they did. But it was so raw, and I think it was RM said, "You can't control my shit," and he said that, and pretty much everybody was like, "Say that to the government." It was so good, dude. It was so good.
I think that's the one I did. I think I did a reaction on that performance, and it was wild.
Yeah,
like it was awesome.
You could
and
tell
like the energy was like electric. Like, it was crazy.
Oh, it was so good, man. So yeah, that probably those two. I'd probably see those.
Those are really good answers, actually.
I like it. But yeah, man. Well, dude. So all right, we've got a tour coming up soon, right? When are you starting?
Yes.
You start in September, though, and
so we're in the Southwest in September, which we haven't announced any of this yet, but I guess we have now. We're going to announce it on August 1st.
Okay.
Just because we have a show next week on the 26th, and then blah blah blah. Have to get all the content together. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
We're going to announce it August 1st, but we're going to start the tour in the Southwest. We're doing like Phoenix, Dallas, through Texas, Denver,
nice.
Salt Lake City, Los Angeles, all over. And then 2-week break, and then we're back out on the Midwest.
Okay.
That we're getting booked at now. So it's like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Columbus. We're playing Iowa. We're going to go up to Wisconsin, play Madison, like Detroit, come through Chicago, and then right now, hopefully doing Nashville just as like a offshoot show.
Dude,
So we got all that coming up, and then music video tonight, and then we have another new song coming out next month, and then another new song coming out in September, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's a lot of beautiful chaos.
Yes,
I
you're
usually
doing the
call
thing,
it.
man.
Yeah, I always call it beautiful chaos. I'm like, it's super stressful, but the moment that we end up having is really beautiful. Like, so it's worth pushing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's wild times, man.
I'm very stoked for you, dude. Very stoked for you. Well, people,
thank you, bro.
Please make sure you guys go check out. I'll leave all the links to your YouTube channels, your Spotify as well too. So go pump those songs on Spotify.
I appreciate that so much. Well, dude, I appreciate you having me. Seriously,
brother. Again,
like, I appreciate you asking. I appreciate the fact that you even reached out. So
yeah.
Well,
it was
thank you for
brother.
thanks for just like being supportive, and yeah, man. Thank you for shooting a message. This was very fun.